Watch us wage our never-ending battle of good versus evil.
Freddy Cat here. In this video, we take a look at Filmation's Batman cartoons from the 1968 version that led up to the Super Friends version of Batman and Robin, to the 1977 adaptation of Batman that then competed against the Super Friends with none other than the West and Burt Ward from the live-action 1966 Batman.
But that's impossible!
Before we get into the history, let's take a fun look at some of the goofs that seem to plague Batman from both the Filmation series and Hanna Barbera's Super Friends. Luckily, those kinds of things never seem to happen to me. During the years of Batman's run on Saturday mornings, he had a terrible time with his bat symbol insignia. Sometimes it just wouldn't stay on.
Don't try for power, just meet the ball. And here's a good answer, the bat sub.
Other times it looked like one of those ink blots they show you at a psychological evaluation. And then there was the inverted insignias that happened a lot.
Holy hoaxes, Batman! You're right!
To the bat computers.
Sounds like a job for you and me, Wonder Woman.
And the one where the bat slid off somewhere.
What did I do? Nothing yet.
Commissioner, I'm taking Batgirl to police headquarters.
Throughout all the Batman series, costume errors were common. The worst goofs were probably on the 68 cartoon, where Batman once lost his pants. And then the Scooby Doo episodes had to be the worst ever. They seemed to be showing us Batman from a parallel universe, where his costume was alive and changed at will. Well, I almost forgot, he lost his pants on the Scooby Doo movies as well. Of course, Robin wasn't immune to goofs. He never knew which side Robin's insignia was supposed to be on.
You were right. Those thugs all have one thing in common. We've really got him worried now, Batman.
And then there was the time on the 77 Filmation series where Robin's cape turned green while he was working on the Batmobile. Possibly the effects of oil or maybe the atomic batteries. That was probably it. The Super Friends would sometimes get voices confused, where Batman would be talking out of Aquaman.
The oil reserves in Saudi Arabia.
We've got to try to stop him. Come on. The Superman.
The creature must have escaped into the swamp. We've got to find it. I'm on my way.
I've never heard Adam West's voice coming out of Robin's body on the Filmation series. What the? Stupid animator.
We'll split up and search for him.
Come on. This isn't funny.
Holy memory bank!
Now let's start over with the history and timeline of Batman's early Saturday morning series. First, we got to start with the live-action series that ran from 1966 to 68 and made Batman a huge phenomenon. He was really big.
You don't say!
Bat fever had struck the land, and it left almost as fast as it took over. Kind of like a tidal wave that came in and disappeared before you knew what happened. Of course, it would live forever in reruns, creating new fans like myself for decades to come.
Holy self-service.
The last episode aired originally in March of 1968, and the first episode of the 68 Filmation series first aired in September of 68, which began the new fall season of cartoons. This was the first Batman cartoon series, and it aired as part of the Batman Superman Hour. It featured the voice of Olan Soule as Batman. He is mostly remembered for his appearances on classic TV shows such as The Andy Griffith Show.
But let's just try it again, shall we? Hazel?
Kasem voiced Robin and was the man who first voiced Shaggy on Scooby Doo, Where Are You?
What happened to our mysterious professor?
He would go on to host America's Top 40. So for a lot of us, we grew up hearing Casey in cartoons on Saturday morning and as teens counting down our favorite songs.
It's just plain crazy!
Both actors would go on to voice the Super Friends, Batman and Robin, and two team-ups with Scooby Doo on the series Scooby Doo's New Movies.
Let's give the clue to the secret code word.
That's easy!
The best thing about the 60s cartoon was that Batman and Robin could actually punch people. The moms of the day were freaking out that their babies might get violent or something, seeing such terrible violence on Saturday morning. So they put pressure on the networks to get rid of superhero shows. And this is why about the only one you ever see punch anything on the Super Friends is Superman when he punches that big rock on the intro. Another famous voice from the 68 Batman was Ted Knight, who did the voice of Commissioner Gordon. He was famous for his role in the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Too Close for Comfort. He also did the narration for the Super Friends in its first season in 1973.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes.
The 68 Batman produced one season worth of episodes, but ran in repeats again the following year. Then in 1973, Batman and Robin were back on the Super Friends, thanks to the voices of Olan Soule and Kasem. According to Wiki, after their initial first season, it popped up again in 1976 as a mid-season replacement on Saturday morning, as Hanna Barbera was beginning production on new episodes for the 1977 season called the all-new Super Friends Hour. Just a few months before that series, the 77 Batman had begun airing, and even though only one season's worth of episodes were made for the 77 Batman, it would be reran with Tarzan for a couple more seasons. So kids were getting 2 different Batman and Robins at the same time.
Far out!
The Super Friends were just getting started in 78. It became the Challenge of the Super Friends, followed by the World's Greatest Super Friends the next year, and then Super Friends. Then in 82, they went back to just reruns. ABC canceled the show during the 83 season, but it still ran in reruns and syndication. But then in 1984, the Super Friends were back again, this time entitled The Legendary Superpower Show. After all that time, Olan Soule was out as Batman and Adam West was in.
Being a super friend involves great dangers.
Soule still worked on the series though, as the voice of Professor Stein.
Look on the bright side, Ronald. Now you'll have time to catch up on your studies.
Kasem remained as the voice of Robin.
He's helped too much already.
I agree.
And then in 1985, the final season of the Super Friends featured Adam West once more as Batman, and Kasem was back as Robin.
Gosh, Scarecrow's getting away. Batman?
This season brought us the origin of Batman in the episode The Fear, and it's one that should not be missed for fans of the Super Friends and Batman.
I learned that criminals are a cowardly lot.
In it, Batman must conquer his fear of the alley where he lost his parents to crime.
And then we saw him.
And we get to see Bruce Wayne training to be Batman.
It's, time to go home, Master Bruce.
Circling back to 1977, the New Adventures of Batman with Adam West and Burt Ward used the same exact model sheets that were used in 1968, except for the design of Commissioner Gordon that was updated for this series.
Quick, to the Batmobile.
And added to the cast was the magical creature known as Batmite. He looks up to Batman and wants to help him fight crime, but unfortunately, he gets into a lot of trouble along the way.
You're all wet! Bat baloney!
It's finally happened, Robin. I've gone batty.
What would they do without me?
Batmite was actually voiced by Filmation co-founder Lou Scheimer. Batgirl is back this time. Instead of voiced by Jane Webb, she's voiced by Melody Britt. Filmation was known for using stock footage in order to save time and money. You would often see Batman doing the exact same actions with different backgrounds. According to Lou Scheimer, this was done so that they could afford to do the animation work all in the United States instead of shipping part of it out. I'm Batman.
You're not Batman.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I'm Batman.
You're a blue cat.
Would you believe I'm Batcat?
If Batcat wears a red t-shirt and looks like the shape of a pear.
Hey! For lots more laughs with Freddy Cat, check out his last adventure where he tries his hand at being the next James Bond. If you love Goofs, check out the Super Friends Goofs video we made recently. And go down the Saturday Morning Facts playlist to relive old Saturday morning memories. Just a quick note, if you search for Freddy Cat on YouTube, you might get the old 1970s cartoon Freddy Cat, spelled F-R-A-I-D-Y. Even if you spell it the right way, F-R-A-D-Y, like the name. But just remember to search for the entire channel name, Freddy Cat Cartoons. Please subscribe, hit like, and please comment. It just doesn't help the algorithm. It also helps me to gauge what I did right or wrong and what you, the viewer, like for future videos. Plus, I love reading comments, so thanks in advance. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did putting it together. Until the next video, bye y'all. Or maybe I should say happy trails to you until we meet again. Okay, I'll never sing again. Sorry.